Hey, everybody. Just going live. Just wanted to, of course, talk about the fact that I'm live. Apparently, I need to just double check and make sure that I'm live. All right. How's everyone doing? Welcome to our Beat the Banks weekly live training. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Professor Chris, your DeFi professor. Uh, if you're watching us on Twitter, on YouTube, and you don't know anything about our group, we are a DeFi education company, and we've been helping onboard people safely and securely into the world of decentralized finance for a very long time now, for years, many years. And if you want to join us, it's absolutely free. We have a free group here called Total Value Locked. It's all across here on the bottom. Let me share my screen so you can learn a little bit more about what we do. And this is our free group. You'll learn all about how to get into decentralized finance. Feel free to just check it out here. You'll see more from myself and my co-founder Andrew. We have multiple paths here, but let's talk about what we're doing today, and that is let me solve this issue first. All right, so the goal of today's, just remove it from our calendar so people don't get confused. The goal of today's episode of Beat the Banks today is to get you into your first yield farm. Now, for a lot of people, they're wondering, what is a yield farm? Basically, the act of yield farming is going to a protocol on a blockchain and staking your capital, because you are your own bank in this scenario, into a protocol to receive incentivized yield. And by doing this on multiple protocols, you are practically what we call yield farming. So essentially, you are looking to go to any protocol, lease your liquidity, like you're staking it there with the purpose of you can remove it at any time, and they're going to pay you a specific amount for doing so. People often ask, well, what are the rates on this type of thing? Because my bank pays me 0.5% or 1%, or I'm in a Christmas club, with like $1,000, and that will pay me. It's technically like a 9-month CD, right? It'll pay me like 3.3%. So I have a little bit more to go and shop for presents with. Well, today we're going to set up a specific position, but as you can see, these are just what we call stable coins. Anywhere between, let's call it 7% all the way up to, in this case, 32% is what we'll be looking at specifically today. So we're looking at very high APY, what are called stablecoin farms. And the stablecoin is basically a digital asset. You can also call it cryptocurrency, but we call them digital assets whose value is pegged to $1. And that is their value. Now there's going to be some intricacies about how well they can maintain their quote-unquote peg at $1. And there are various mechanisms behind that. But for simple terms, we're going to be looking at stablecoin yields today. Now, if I were just to remove this filter here with our partner Beefy, then you could clearly see much higher than 33%. We're looking at and most of these are what we call meme coins, and they're paired with various assets in general, it's normally wrapped ETH because this is in the EVM ecosystem, in the Ethereum virtual machine ecosystem, or the Ethereum block, different parts of the Ethereum blockchain. These are what we call layer 2 protocols. Specifically, I have filtered to the base blockchain, which is a layer 2 from Coinbase, and then Arbitrum, one of the oldest layer 2s that have been around in our space. So as you can see, multiples well above 200%, well above what you're ever going to get on a savings account. Is there some risk with this? Absolutely. No guarantee that, for example, Miggles will continue to provide excellent yield for an entire year. It might, but in most cases, if you're looking for the sure thing and you're fairly risk off, meaning you don't like risk very much, but you do want to get into a little bit of yield farming, because you may have heard that instead of just holding my assets, I can actually put them to work for me. And that's the whole point of yield farming, is taking a little bit of your portfolio and having it earn additional passive income for you just by staking it in a platform. So how do we start with this? Obviously, this will be our end game, looking at pools like this, specifically the stablecoin piece. But how do we get here? Well, there's two things you need to do. And of course, you can find all of this at our free group at Total Value Locked. We have this whole specific module here called Introduction to DeFi, which is in our Start Here module. And you will learn everything you need to learn to get to today's point. If you start here and just go through the videos, they're fairly quick watches. You will learn that you need to download a specific web browser, one that we recommend. Now, you can use Chrome. I wouldn't recommend you use Safari, because you're going to be using a web wallet extension to approve transactions here in DeFi. We like using Brave, mainly because it is built on top of Google Chrome, has a lot of the same bells and whistles, even access to the same extension store, but they are privacy focused. So they're all about privacy. And that is something that you should definitely aim to have in the Web3 space, especially because this is about self-custody. Pardon me. And the goal is to be your own bank, right? Because you can yield farm and get way better returns that you're ever going to get, even on the stock market. Because even on the best day with hedge funds and all that type of stuff you don't have access to, the best returns you're ever going to find roughly between 25 and 30%. I can easily best that with a simple stablecoin farm that you get to control where your assets are, and no middleman is taking commission. And for the most part, you can just monitor and make changes as you need to. You have the power to do that in DeFi, in decentralized finance. The beautiful thing about DeFi as well, nobody owns DeFi. When people ask, well, what company, what country owns it? None. It's a decentralized mesh of networks from all around the world together, serving up all the data. And that's the hardest thing I think people have to wrap their brain around, but probably the most unique and most special thing about DeFi is that it is broken up into multiple blockchains. Of course, some blockchains are better than others. That's outside the scope of this call, but we're going to basically take you from point A to point B. So you're going to need a web browser. We recommend using Brave. Of course, you can use Google Chrome. Brave is just the Chrome with more privacy controls over it. So that's why we recommend that. And also, when we're talking about investing anything on blockchain with regards to risk and all that, it's best to compartmentalize all of that risk into one spot, right? So I don't want to be doing crypto or blockchain activities on the same browser that I'm using to watch Netflix, that I'm using for my personal emails. I'm paying my bills, my mortgage, car payments, all that stuff. Leave that on a separate browser. You want a different browser for this, especially that's privacy focused, so you can actually just keep that risk within that browser. So you'll need a wallet to approve transactions. And the one that we recommend for all Ethereum blockchains, which is what we'll be focusing on today, there are other blockchain ecosystems such as Solana, which has their own wallet that you would use there. But we're going to talk about Ethereum today with layer 2s, and that's going to be through Rabby Wallet. Rabby Wallet's our pick. Frankly, because it is everything above our previous pick with more quality of life adjustments. The previous pick that a lot of people may recognize is one called MetaMask. And Rabby is built by the DBank team. They're a great dashboard as well as just information company. And they've built this wallet with all of the bells and whistles, all of the creature comforts of what you'd want in MetaMask. Plus, honestly, easier things to work with. better information, the ability to revoke transactions and revoke approvals for transactions inside the wallet. That's something I need to talk to our mastermind about, because I just was on a call where I said I was going to talk about revoking approvals, and we didn't get to that point because we ran out of time. But you can do that here with that wallet. It's just a much better wallet. Plus, they have this beautiful thing here called the gas account. I'll feature that in just a second. But you'll need a Rabby wallet. And basically what this is for is when you're going to be transacting money back and forth, because you connect your wallet, which is what this is what's called a seed phrase wallet. And you need to keep that seed phrase private, essentially. There are multiple tools you can have for that. But if you're going to do it, we always use pen and paper. We use archival ink and archival paper, stuff that's going to last for hundreds of years. And then you want to keep it in a very safe spot, whether it be a safe, whether it be I don't know, safe deposit box. I know people that take the seed phrase, break it up into 3 pieces of paper and give them to 3 different family members or people that they trust, so that at some point, if they ever need to recover their funds, they can call each person and they can put that together. In most cases, the seed phrase is a 12-word phrase made up of a bunch of different words in the dictionary that follow what's called the BIP39 standard. It is based off the Bitcoin Improvement Protocol specifically for that. And it works with just about every cryptocurrency wallet that is out there that uses the seed phrase system. It's also available, I think, in 14 languages, I want to say, but you can't mix the languages, which would be cool if you could, but I understand why. So, and I know that, like, I think Mandarin's one, Italian, French, German, Spanish. There's multiple languages that have seed phrases. But essentially a mixture of those words, and there's many words in the standard. They all create one algorithmic wallet address generator. Sorry, that's what I was looking for. Basically, it can create wallet addresses for multiple ecosystems, all from that one seed phrase. So, but the reason why you have this is to approve transactions. So if I'm going to go and I'm going to I'll connect my wallet so it has access to my funds, and then to a protocol. And then from there, I have to give them permission to do so. And then when I go to give them permission, that's what the wallet's for. It's for the approval process. There are no funds that are contained within the wallet. If you have a wallet and you lose the wallet, like let's say you have a computer crash, as long as you have the seed phrase, you can resurrect it. It all lives on the blockchain. So you don't have to worry about losing your funds if you lose your wallet. Now, if you lose your seed phrase, then you've lost access to any of the addresses that contain funds on the blockchain. That is the linchpin there, not the wallet, because you can go and take your seed phrase, put it in any other wallet. I could take this seed phrase I get from my Rabby wallet, put it into MetaMask. It should work. I could put it into Phantom. It should also work. Any other wallet that supports seed phrase wallets should work when you import that phrase. With that said, there are new wallets that are out there that use different technology, specifically like things from like Privy would be one, where you can log in with social networks. You could log in with biometrics. You could log in with a Google account, for example. I think there's also one that even uses an Apple account. That's fine if you want to do that. I wouldn't do that for my serious funds. But if you're looking to just have a throwaway wallet that you just use to, just to explore or speculate on a couple of things, that's fine. But I wouldn't put my hard-earned funds in something that I would put that into something like a hardware wallet, something that you can set up offline, what we call an air-gapped environment, meaning that you don't have access to the internet when you set it up. That's the most secure, because it's only just between you and the software generating that seed phrase, from the dictionary stuff. And of course, you have to use the same level of security there. Now, I mention all this because there's a level of responsibility that you have when you are in self-custody and self-custodying your funds. A lot of people think it's awesome that you have this autonomous freedom to control your crypto assets and take them anywhere with you within the DeFi ecosystem to multiple blockchains. But the thing is that you are in charge of your funds. If you lose the seed phrase to your stuff, you don't get access to it anymore. And I know that's a hard truth for a lot of people to swallow, so they're looking for some of this newer stuff that relies on third-party services to help roll back stuff. And that's fine, but again, you're placing your trust in a third party to take care of that, when really the trust should be within yourself. So when you take the responsibility for being in self-custody, you and you alone are responsible for the security and the best practices needed to make sure that you keep your funds safe. Because if you lose your seed phrase, you can't go to Rabby. They have no idea how to recover your seed phrase. They don't keep track of it. Now, along with the seed phrase, you'll also set a password. Always set a strong password. We recommend you always use a password manager to do that. You can use anyone that you like, whether it be Google or Apple passwords. Just don't use LastPass. Anything but LastPass. You should be all right. I personally use 1Password. I've also used Bitwarden. I've used Dashlane. I've used KeePass. I haven't used Google or Apple passwords just because, well, I'm not going to use Google's because I'm not the product. And I recently switched over to Apple things like ecosystem over the last 2 years, mainly because privacy is something they take very seriously. And frankly, I do too. So I may use the Apple ecosystem, their password manager, maybe, not sure, but I would rather have something modular so that if I move between ecosystems, I'm not dependent on all Apple stuff. Right now, I'm dependent on basically for my current computer, my phone, my watch, but that's really all. That's the extent of what I want. It's really just more for convenience to have that. But with regards to security, I want to make sure that I have multiple different options available, and that's the freedom that you get being here in Web3, where you own your own data and you can figure out what you'd like to do with it. So we have Rabby, we have Brave, mix them together. You now have this extension right here once you set it up that now has some funds that you can go and stake it on a blockchain and a protocol. And we're gonna walk through that in just a minute. What I want to bring up is there is some money in here, and as you can see, we have money in different protocols against multiple blockchains where we have our money working for us. And there's two things I want to point out here. In all of my examples on all of these Beat the Banks trainings we do every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, I'm not going to use a lot of money. Why? Because frankly, I don't need to. That's the whole point. The point is you can get in these positions with as little as $5 if you want, if not less. You won't make a ton of money, obviously. Obviously, if you want to earn 5 figures in passive income doing this full time or even part time, we have multiple people in our mastermind who they own businesses, they have other careers, they have families. This is something they've just set up through education through us, and they're going and setting up great positions that yield them a lot of passive income monthly. But when I'm doing these examples, the point is, it's fairly simple to put them to put in $5. I think it's a relatable number, right? Would I get more return off of 100? Sure, but you can do back of the napkin math to figure out like, oh, if this is how much I'm making off of $5, how much would I be making off of $500, $5,000, $500,000? You can scale that up from there. Obviously, there's some other nuances, like the rate that's there won't be that rate all the time, but there are an average of an idea of what you're going to be getting, and it will always be better than what you're going to get at your bank. Because for me personally, with my credit union, love my credit union, but I'm earning 0.025%. If I want 0.5% or 0.05%, I have to put in $500,000. And frankly, I'm not going to do that anymore because I'd rather have all my money with me in my custody as opposed to in a system that is frankly flawed and rigged against us, right? Because they're making all the money off of us, not us. The moment I'm not going to go into what happens when you deposit money into a bank, but it's literally gone the moment it enters, right? 90% of that gets rehypothecated into the system where they have anyway. Outside the scope. So you need to fund your wallet. Now, unfortunately, there are not a ton of really good, what we call on-ramping situations or on-ramping options. I will call out one because we do have a nice relationship with them. Not a full partnership, but Cato.money is probably, and Stripe's actually building quite a few things. You can also go to if you want to use Stripe stuff, crypto.link. Crypto.link.com. This is from Stripe. And you can buy crypto and send it down to your Rabbit wallet fairly simply. Now, two things that you need to know about these types of services, or any service that you're on-ramping with. You're going to have to do what's called KYC, meaning you cannot be anonymous with this. They're going to know who you are. They're going to take a picture of your identity, whether it be through a driver's license, birth certificate, passport, and you're going to pay fees to buy crypto and send it down. Like, for example, this is only, if I'm buying $10 worth of ETH, it's only 49 cents. Not bad. Let's say I just want to do USDC on Base, 41 cents. So if I decided I just wanted to buy $100 worth, well, that jumped up, didn't it? $10 to $100 is a much different experience, guys. Yeah, $4 to do that. And if that doesn't bother you, then fine. This is an easy way to do it. But once, I think you have to create an account. Same thing with Cato. Either way, you're KYC'd in, and then you're paying a specific amount of money. Let me go US. Let's do the exact same thing. USDC on Base, which is a stable coin through Circle. And again, I'm losing some money here because of fees. Only $3.15, I suppose it's better. But you have multiple ways to get crypto in here, whether it be through bank account, whether it be through Apple Pay, Google Pay, various other functions, right? So if you want to use a credit card to buy crypto to send into your account, you can do that through stuff like this. Do we recommend them wholeheartedly? No, not really. Mainly because fees, and there are better ways to do it. We generally recommend that if you're going to be onboarding, you go through what's called a centralized exchange, or a CEX. The most famous, largest in the world is going to be Coinbase. And this is my Coinbase account, just so you guys know. So you can see I don't have a lot of money in here. Why? Because we don't like keeping money on CEXs. If you want to use a CEX specifically for the other purpose, which most people use exchanges for, centralized exchanges, which is for trading, knock yourself out. But don't use it as a bank account. I know too many people that use it as a bank account, and that is the bad way to go about it. Because if something were to ever happen to Coinbase, guess what? Well, we often say your keys, your crypto. Your keys, your crypto is on Coinbase. So if something were to happen to Coinbase, or Coinbase has a glitch, and suddenly you can't, they lock withdrawals, you're not getting your money off of Coinbase for a while until they fix that. So keep that in mind. And for that reason, we just don't recommend people use CEXs for any other purpose than to be a vehicle to easily get money down into crypto, or rather to DeFi, to decentralized finance, meaning to blockchains. So two things you're going to need to do for this specific example. You're going to have to take some money, and if you have some money, you have crypto already, great. If you don't, you're going to have to buy some crypto. Here is the caveat if you do the Coinbase route, or the Binance route, or whatever CEX that you have. If you buy crypto on these platforms, and I've been on Coinbase since like 2011, I don't get access to my crypto for like 5 days, it is what it is. Now, if you want to pay fees on Cato or on Stripe to get there faster, then that's probably the best way to do it. Otherwise, if I go here and I just use my bank account to purchase $250 of USDC, I don't get to touch it for at least a couple of days. And I've been there for a long time. I can't even imagine what it's like for brand new people. But that's kind of where we're at. So you're going to need two things. You're going to need USDC, which is what we'll be using today, which is a stable coin. And you're also going to need ETH. So if I go to my assets, I have a little bit of ETH, and my USDC is right there. Now, when I say you can store money on here, you can. I'll be very transparent. I use Coinbase mainly for the Coinbase Visa, which is a debit card. And basically, you can pay for bills. You can pay for anything out there. You just send USDC up to Coinbase, and it'll earn 4% while it sits there. And then you can spend it on your debit card for any goods. Like, for example, I went to the grocery store, bought some groceries for the week using my Coinbase Visa, which means I didn't have to go through any of my regular banks. I just went through Coinbase with my crypto profits, which is always fun. Always nice to see, right? Anyway, you're going to need to have ETH mainly for just to have some in your account, because for your first transaction, you'll need some ETH in your account, especially if you're setting up your Rabby wallet. And then you'll need some USDC. Now, today I've decided I'm going to go ahead and set up a farm on the Base blockchain, which is part of Coinbase. They have a lot of services that are using Base as their backend. But I do need to send both ETH and USDC down. Now, there are two things you can do. If you already have crypto in your Coinbase account, you can swap it for ETH, which is easy. For example, if I wanted to convert crypto and I wanted to, take some USDC and convert it to ETH, I'll do that first. I'll do $5 worth. Review my order. There's a 99-cent fee to do so, which it is what it is. You can stake and earn that. No, thank you. I'm fine without that. Convert now. And that should be done. So I should have, a little bit of ETH to go down to Base. Because the reason you'll need ETH is at the beginning is because in order to make transactions in DeFi on a blockchain, you need to have what's called a gas token. Gas is what the price is, the cost of doing business on a blockchain, whether it be staking, swapping between assets, anything that involves an actual blockchain transaction, you do have to pay for it. It's not free. Makes sense, right? So you have to have the gas token. On the majority of blockchains we talk about, at least in our group, outside of Solana, we use blockchains where ETH is the gas token that you're going to need. So we just converted for some ETH, right? Let's be right here in crypto. Yeah, there's my $5 in ETH, because I guess I had less than that. But what I need to do now is to withdraw it to my Rabby wallet. Easiest way to do that, open up your Rabby wallet once you have it set up. Again, this is all assuming you've set this all up. You've set up a browser, which we're currently in. You set up a Rabby wallet, and now you're just looking to fund it. Basically, we need to send it to the Base blockchain. So two things we'll do. One thing about EVM blockchains is that your address for your wallet is the same across all blockchains in the Ethereum ecosystem. So it'll start with 0x. So regardless if I'm on Arbitrum, Optimism, Phantom Sonic, Say, ETH Mainnet, BNB chain, my address will be the same across all those blockchains. As long as it's EVM compatible, it will be the same. So all I need to do is to copy my address to my Rabby wallet. This is where I'm going to be sending the funds to. Now I have three options really. I can click on this icon right here. And I don't know if you can see that. Yes, I can tell, at least in the preview, that you can. There's this icon. It's 2 squares. That means copy. As you can see, that copied my address right there. I could also come here by just clicking. Let me repeat that. Clicking on this arrow to open up the current address and have other wallets that I've connected here. There's another squares icon here to copy that to my clipboard. And then the third is if I click one more step, I can get to where the QR code and all this stuff is. I can just click on this, and that also copies it. So coming back to what I want to do is I want to spend $5 worth. So I'm going to send crypto. I'm going to send it to that address. I've copied it. It's in my clipboard. All I have to do is paste. You can right click and do it, or just press Command V or Control V, depending on what system you're on. So you can see I already have the wallet here saved. You can do that on Coinbase. You can favorite addresses you send to. And then the next part is, this is part of our triple check, is you need to also remember what blockchain you're going to. In this case, we're not going to Ethereum. We're not going to Arbitrum. We're going to go to Base, which is, I guess, will always be free because it's Coinbase's layer 2. But you have other options as well. So we're going to go ahead and choose Base. That's where we're going to be going today. You get this screen. I would always recommend to have this screen always stay up, because you don't want to be in a situation where you forget the nag screen. Nag screens are okay. To be fair, security is a pain in the ass. It's supposed to be. Security gives you that extra barrier, that wake up call, like, oh, I need to double check something. So that's why I keep NAG screens up, just to remember, does your recipient accept ETH on Base? This is a very important question, because if you send the wrong asset to the wrong wallet, that's game over. I've seen people send lots of money to the wrong address on multiple occasions, and it's painful every single time. So just make sure that the address you're going to is an ETH accepting address at your wallet. In this case, it is. And I'm going to send the $5. And this is for the asset Ethereum, right? Because ETH is the gas that powers Base blockchain. So now we'll go to the preview. This is where the triple check happens. I need to verify three things: how much I'm sending, which is $5 in ETH, or this exact amount, to what address, or Rabby wallet. If you want to take a second to open up your wallet and just verify that's the correct address, I would definitely do that. And then you also want to verify what is the network you are sending to, because I have had people tell me all the time, Chris, I sent something from Coinbase and it went to somewhere else, like ETH mainnet, because it used to because the first option, if you remember seeing there, said Ethereum. You don't want to go to ETH mainnet, because ETH mainnet is the home of very high gas fees, to the point where my just sending $5 back could cost you $5 in ETH or more at the very least. So you don't want to be in that boat. And to highlight Ref148's prod comment as well, this is a very important thing. This is what we consider a test transaction. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you wanted to send $500 in ETH down to Base. That's fine. Obviously, start with a $5 transaction to make sure that it gets there first. It's a test transaction. Then send the other $495. Knock yourself out. What I will say is, if you are doing this for the first time within the first 30 to 60 days, even if you still don't know what you're doing, you still don't know what you're doing, right? You want to start with small transactions. I wouldn't go with more than $50 in any farm in the first 30 days. When I first got into DeFi back in 2019, I did nothing for the first 45 days. All I did was research, figured out what it looked like, and then I started small, did a couple practice transactions. And once I started making my first five figures, then I started to go up higher, because it's too easy to lose money in this space. That's the hardest part, is just embracing that, being vigilant, and having good, what we call operational security, to have the confidence, have the practice, have that muscle memory to know exactly what to do, so you don't panic, because panic is where you really mess up. You can fat finger something, but as long as you have practice and you do this a lot, that's where the muscle memory comes in. That's where you start to not have too many human errors. So anyway, $5 here. That's what we're sending. This is going to be for our gas. We'll go ahead and send that now. And I have to do my phone thing. Now, depending on what you do, you need to set up a second factor. Now, I have mine set up with passkeys. It's like a passwordless type of thing. This is the one thing that actually drew me to iOS specifically, because they had their passkeys API, and really I can just use my mobile device to the password. I just scan a code. I'm already biometrically with my Face ID. You can also do Touch ID, and it does that. Now, there's also for some people, you may do this and they may ask you to open the Coinbase app, meaning you install the mobile app of Coinbase as your second factor. And as long as you're logged in there and you approve it, it'll go through. But the key is, you're not going to be able to just do it on one shot, which is what you want. You want them to stop you, make sure that someone didn't hack into your computer and you're doing all this yourself. Yes, Android also has passkeys. There are multiple ecosystems that have passkeys now. It's trying to make the whole world passwordless. So you don't have to worry about having a password manager, but obviously we're not in a world where that's completely true. So I've done that now. It's done. What I can do now is go to my Rabby wallet. And it's a very quick process. I can come down here, and what I'll do is I'll just go to, what I'll do here is let's go to transactions. And as you can see, 1 minute ago, I've already already received that money, like literally instant. It's already there, which is amazing, right? That's the 0.0027 ETH. That's the $5. Now, that's really just for the gas. We're going to go and do it at $20 position. Because again, I just want you guys to see that if you don't have a ton of cash, it's really easy to get into something with less than 20 bucks. You do 10 bucks if you want. What we'll do again is we will send USDC. So it looks like you can withdraw cash. Don't do that. Send USDC because that's what you want to do. Send USDC. We want to go ahead and send it to our wallet. So we can come back here. We'll copy the address, paste it in. And that's my little hot wallet here. And we're going to go to Base. Now, for most people, we actually start on Arbitrum. So the fact that we're doing Base today is actually a very new thing. But really, the whole point of today is to show you in an hour. It's fairly frictionless to do this, guys. You can do this over the weekend. I want you to do this over the weekend. If you're watching this video, tell me what pool you got into, and just tell me how the experience was, because it shouldn't be too bad these days compared to what the experience was like 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Oh, this is unbelievably fast. You used to have to pray that you got your withdrawal down to Arbitrum, because Base didn't exist yet past the end of 2020, the second half of 2023. So back in the day, I mean, you just were hoping. I mean, even to bridge out of Polygon was a 7-day experience back then. Polygon was an older layer too. Anyway, nag screen. We want the nag screen. Yes, I'm sending it to my wallet. I'm going to send 20 bucks to Base. And here's our triple check. How much are we sending of what? $20 in USDC to this address on this blockchain. Send time's about 14 seconds. It's really just going to be instant. And again, we'll probably have to do the password listing again. And the best part is I also got an email at the same time on my phone and here on my screen saying that I'd sent money to wherever. So you always get that. One thing we say, and you can't see it up here on this canvas I have behind me, but it says don't trust, verify. Always verify to make sure that it gets there, right? So. Technology is lovely. All right, so we've done that. Now we can come in here to our Rabby wallet. And again, just double check that I made it there. It should already be here. As you can see, the numbers already changed. I can go to transactions. And it's not quite there yet. It said like 14 seconds. So it should be there fairly soon. But we'll go ahead and walk into the next part. And that is trying to find a yield farm. And it should be no surprise that we're going to go to Beefy, one of our best partners in the space. You can go to beefy.finance or beefy.com. It'll take you to the same spot. We'll just start this over. We'll go to beefy.com. We'll take us here. Click on Launch App. They didn't switch over to finance. That's interesting. Anyway, it'll just take you here. And the first thing you're going to do once you get here is I sent down $20 in USDC. For me personally, I'm looking to stay in a stablecoin pool. Now, I'm already filtered here, so I can just literally filter by different, they're called vaults here. That's where you're putting your money in for earning a return. I just click on stablecoins. And if I just sort by APY, now I'm finding stablecoin pools well over 30%, right? Now they're on different blockchains that we're looking to go over, and you need to actually withdraw to the specific blockchain you're looking for. Now, there's no way to do so from some of these others. Like this is Berachain, for example, a very new layer 1. This is Phantom Sonic, another very new layer 1. It's not supported as a withdrawal for USDC or ETH from Coinbase yet. So you'd have to do what's called use a bridge to do that. And that's outside the scope of this code. That's why I chose Base, because it's a very easy destination to get to from Coinbase since it's their layer 2. So we're going to go ahead and filter this list by that choice. And looking here to filter out, you just choose a blockchain you want to filter by. In this case, we're going to filter by Base, because that's the blockchain that's the blockchain that we withdrew the ETH and the USDC2. So what that does now, it's going to filter this list by that. And then we want stable coins because we sent down some USDC and we want to make sure that we find the best stablecoin pools available. Why? Because in my opinion, that's the easiest one to have to monitor. Now, some you can make the argument that it's easier to monitor really high APY pools because you're always going to be watching. But honestly, this is really more for people who just want to have to check it once a week. If you're out there grinding, you're on a full-time job, you have 40, 50 hours a week, you have a family, you got all this stuff going on, you don't have the time to do research, and you're just starting out, I don't need you to, really just spending a ton of time taking away from the things you care about to do that initially. Now, if you want to, it's fine. But stable coins, you just have to monitor this once a week. Simple as that. Ultimately, the goal for most of our people in our communities is to get you underneath an hour of farming time per week. I spend less than 5-10 minutes. When you do something like this is less than 5 to 10 minutes, right? You're in a stablecoin farm. I know that I'm going to be getting a rate higher than 15%. In this case, this will be 19.18. Is this really what happened? Because I had one that was 32% just a second ago. Where'd it go? All right, well, here's what it is. So ultimately, let me just give some context here. These rates can be higher. Honestly, I think the fact that the market is kind of going downwards, that normally represents a flight to safety. And normally that means that more people go into stablecoin pools. And when that happens, that just means these rates actually decrease a little bit because when we're looking at these types of pools, the more TVL that's in, the rate goes down because it dilutes the shares a bit. You can combat that by going to what's called a CLM pool, which is concentrated liquidity, which actually plays off the volatility, but these rates are not very good either. Anyway, we'll just stick with these. The pool we're going to go into today is I've chosen this MSUSD USDC pool on Aerodrome. Aerodrome is the largest decentralized exchange on the Base blockchain. This is a pool from there. This is not what's called a concentrated liquidity pool. This is a regular LP, a liquidity pool, meaning you need to come in with 50% of MSUSD and 50% of USDC. We're going to be earning roughly about 16% APY because this is a yield optimization protocol, meaning they take a vault on an existing pool, put it on top of it, and then all the returns that they get, they auto compound it and reinvest it into your position. So you're not going to be earning a reward position here. You're just going to be auto compounding and earning more. And if you don't know about the power of auto compounding, just think about the idea that if you have like $100 position and you're earning $1 a day on this position, which would be amazing, that dollar gets reinvested back into your overall liquidity position. So instead of having $100, now it's $101. Next day, $102, and see how that auto compounding can actually increase the amount that you're earning overall. Auto compounding is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and that's why we love working with Beefy on this specifically. And yes, you can zap on a regular LP on Beefy. We're going to show you how. So the reason why this is actually quite simple and straightforward and why we love this is because there's something called what's called a zap. And a zap, which is what this is, means that I can just come in, because normally for here you have to have 50% of both assets in order to make this pool happen. I don't have MSUSD. I don't even know what MSUSD is. I mean, as a regular user. I did just send down some USDC. Can I do something with that? The answer is yes. In fact, with their zap system, you can come in with any asset that you send down. And why is my USDC not here yet? Let's double check here. I mean, it shows that it went. Sent. Went to the right address. Yep. I paid $1. Oh no, that's the price of the asset. I was like, what? It was free. Cool. We can view on the Block Explorer. That's fine. We'll just come here to our Rabby wallet. Again, we just want to verify. There it is. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about, Beefy. It's right there. There's my $20 came 7 minutes ago. All right. So what it could be is they just didn't realize it's there. So we'll go ahead and refresh the screen. When in doubt, just refresh. So we want to come in with USDC. I mean, I have USDC. Do I not? It's right there. Yay, demos. All right, we'll do a hard refresh. Sometimes that happens. You get a hard refresh, and that's Control Shift R on Windows, Command Shift R on Mac OS. All right, clearly this is not the normal USDC. Let me check a different pool. And this is always good for stuff. I'm not going to do this pool because USDR is Tangle, and that's backed by distressed real estate assets, and it's not good. We'll try this overnight, USD plus USDVC. Now we have neither of those assets, but we can use the Zap. I don't know why it doesn't see it. So let's do this. We'll do a hard refresh. We'll connect the wallet. Okay. Still no USDC. Even though I'm staring literally right at it. We can verify here that it's there. Yeah, $20 in USDC sent down from Coinbase. Yep, it shows up there. Don't use the swap instead of Rabby, by the way, if you're looking for a pro tip, because they charge fees. It's very expensive. Not very expensive, but more expensive than I would like for it to be. Now, I have a theory as to why this is not working, and the theory I have is that the RPC, or the data layer to base, is a little bit laggy, which happens. So we're going to pivot here, because generally I could just put in my USDC and it's literally good to go, and I have a pool set up in 3 minutes. We're not going to have that today because it's not showing that. And again, not sure exactly why. This is kind of how demos work, but I will say that this is normally not a problem. So it is what it is. We're going to go to a protocol called Morpho. It's morpho.org. And basically they have open infrastructure for on-chain loans. Now, where we actually can earn yield is by providing collateral for people to take out loans on. And that's what we're going to do. So if we go to launch the app, we'll see what we can get here specifically. Now, we've had this one open forever. We just put in $10, probably like five, 6 months ago on this EUSD pool, maybe more than 6 months ago. It was earning anywhere between 9 and 15%, and we've gained roughly about 19 cents of EUSD, which is another stable coin. So if I just use the APY here, perfect. We've got one that's 11%. This is ClearStar's Eden USDC. And as long as we stay insiders, you can see there's more than $486,000 deposited in here. So clearly there's a lot of people who are very interested in this pool. All I have to do is just click on this button. And there's also this USDS core and this Steakhouse USDC RWA. Well, this has a lot of collateral on it, which earns a lot of yield, so this should be pretty good. The different collateral here are an LTV pool on Aerodrome, Resolve, PT from Pendle, USDO, which I'm guessing is something maybe from Ondo, CBBTC, which is CB Coinbase's BTC derivative, and then Resolve RLP. The ClearStar Open Eden USDC Vault optimizes yields in USDO markets. Open Eden is which is USDO, is fully regulated, a yield-bearing stablecoin backed by Moody's rated tokenized US T-bills. So why not? And as you can see, they recognize that I have the $20 in USDC. So I'm like gobsmacked at the fact that Beefy doesn't see it. That's really strange. Like, I knew I had the $20. Still, no idea. Anyway, to get in this position, it's going to earn 11% APY because it's going to be auto compounded in. You're providing collateral. You're providing capital. You're supplying capital for people to use as collateral to borrow loans against. That's basically all that this is for. You can withdraw your funds at any time. These pools are very deep with liquidity, and they're used. And a lot of your rewards and everything comes from the profits off of those loans as they're, put elsewhere. You can't say that about regular banks for whatever ungodly reason. They don't ever give you. They may give you a dividend. I remember a big red WF bank, which I'm sure I'm not supposed to say because I don't want them to come after me. After having thousands of dollars in my account, maybe every month I might get a penny. Maybe. So anyway, to get into this account, in this wallet rather, to get into this pool, all I have to do is put in my $20. Go and click on max. You can see that's roughly about, we're going to earn 11.41%. And we do have full information as to what's happening here. There's a native APY of 13.03%. We're going to earn the Morpho token as a reward at 0.19% APY. That's not very much, to be quite honest, but this is part of the Coinbase. Oh, cool. So this is a pool that is used on Coinbase's front end for regular Coinbase users to take loans backed out in DeFi. So you're actually contributing to this and earning a decent yield on that. And that's the power of DeFi, right? You're providing services, you're getting incentive to lease your liquidity. That's exactly what this is. You are leasing your liquidity into pools that can be used with USDC to take out loans. I believe it's you deposit Bitcoin, and then you can borrow USDC. That's generally how the Coinbase loans work. You can certainly verify that if you like. And then projected earnings this month. You should be earning 18 cents this month. After a year, 228. So obviously, if I were to put $2,000 in here, you can see projected earnings, assuming that nothing happens to this rate. This rate will fluctuate. Could be up, could be down, but in general, it should be roughly about this. And the key is you're being incentivized and you're being rewarded for helping with the whole picks and shovels, the whole mechanism on how people can take out loans in decentralized finance, which is a beautiful thing in my personal opinion. Now I only have $20, so we're going to go ahead and review the deposit. We're going to go ahead and continue to confirm. And this is where our wallet comes up, and you cannot see that. Let me see if I can fix that, because you actually can't see me signing the wallet, which is unfortunate, because that's exactly why you're here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the entire screen here. So this is about to get very large. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just take this window, I'll expand it. There you go. So we have this open here, and I apologize. It may be harder to read, but it says this is our transaction that needs to be signed. And hopefully you can see this. You have to blow it up or maybe view it on your TV. All right. So basically we have this is a two-stage system. We have to approve, meaning because DeFi is a trustless and permissionless system, we actually have to approve the protocol to spend our funds. Now we have approved $20 worth, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. That's the exact balance what I have here. The signature expires in 20. Oh, that's nice. The signature expires in 23 hours, meaning after 23 hours, we'll have to if we want to do anything else, we have to reapprove that. That's perfect. Why don't more protocols do this? If you're a DeFi builder, take advantage of the signature expired time. That way people don't have to worry about having to revoke approvals after the fact. Anyway, sign type data, we're going to approve to this smart contract. What I like to do here is just pull this up and then just verify how long has the smart contract been deployed. Now, the reason why this is important, because smart contracts, when they're deployed, they can't be, they're what we call immutable, meaning after it's been deployed, you can't change it. So if this is like older, if this is newer than like a week or 10 days, I would stop and find out why. Because most protocols shouldn't be updating their smart contracts all that often unless they have some type of announcement, right? There should be some transparency as, why am I interacting with a smart contract less than a week old? Normally that's a big red flag to me. It should be a red flag to you too. We'll go and click on sign and confirm. And now our transaction comes to the second portion. We've done the approval. Now we're going to do the actual transaction. Where again, we're going to lease $20 of our own USDC liquidity. In return, you're going to receive an LP token or a liquidity marker token. In this case, it's called COUSDC, which I guess stands for ClearStar Open Eden USDC. You'll be having that wallet in your token. This token in your wallet. You are not allowed to do anything with this token. If you sell this token, if you do anything with the token, it's gone. You lose the token, you cannot recover your position and cash it back out for regular USDC. Again, we are on the base blockchain. We've already approved this contract, so we already know that this is the same contract we were just talking about. You may want to take note of that if you're specifically worried about that. And this is where the gas comes in. This time I'll go ahead and pay with ETH gas, because remember we sent down $5 in gas to cover costs. Luckily, because of how cheap layer 2s are, specifically for base, this is a fraction of a penny. So again, you could do this with $100, $200, however much you'd like, and you won't be spending a ton of gas. Whereas on ETH mainnet, you most likely might be spending $5, $10 on gas. Normally here, this tells you can actually speed up the transaction speed. I'm just going to keep it at normal because we don't really need fast or instant in this case. It's never really needed. You can also use called the gas account, where you can use stable coins to pay for gas. You have to prepay into that about $10 at a time. We have roughly about $8 in ours, but we'll go ahead and use the gas that we sent down from Coinbase. That's the main reason why we have it. And we'll go ahead and we're just going to click on sign and then confirm. And now it's executing the bundle, because you can bundle things up on Morpho. That's a little bit of a wrinkle outside the scope of this. But now we have a position here, $20 USDC. So if we go back to earn, we'll see our deposits here. So we did have our existing $10 EUSD deposit, which has been here for a long time because we did that in the bank's training. Now we have one for $20 here, using money that we sent down from Coinbase, some USDC, some stablecoin, earning it's gone up 11.62% APY. And there you go. That's your first yield farm. You are providing liquidity to essentially Coinbase's loan facility, and you're getting paid to do so. Much more than you'd get paid at a bank for them just having your money. You're actually actively participating in the system for as collateral for loans against any of these pieces here, which I think is really cool. That's the one thing that I love about DeFi, is that whenever you provide liquidity, you release your liquidity, you get an incentivized yield for it. It's because you're helping with the whole financial subsystem. Now, this is completely different than trading, right? You can't really, who's going to trade USDC? It's a stablecoin. But that's why stablecoins are the killer app of crypto, in my opinion, because you can use them as a compulsory to then go and participate in some type of ecosystem. In this case, you're helping with the loan facilities, not only just for Coinbase, but there are other projects you can use it for. Like for this one, for RE7 Labs, I'm sure that there's a ton of different loans that these are being used for. Now, right now, the APR is roughly at about 9%, but this has gone anywhere between 9% and all the way up to 18%. So for me, I think it's a really great range. I think it's a great way to safely keep your money into a protocol like this. Morpho is a really popular product. You can, of course, go and do more research into this as you start getting used to how this all works and understanding more about how the protocol works. That's the next stage. First, get into your first yield farm, go into the weekend saying, hey, I did it. And Chris showed me how. So hopefully you found this fairly frictionless. I apologize about the beefy demo. Not sure why I wasn't showing that I had $20 in USDC when clearly I did, because we decided to come over here to Morpho. So just as a quick recap, and again, we're at the hour. Today, here on our call, our weekly Beat the Banks free call, we talked about how to get into your first farm, just running it all the way from beginning to end. We started off by, what browser should you use? And we talked about Brave Browser and making that being the browser that you should be using when you are in crypto, mainly because you should have a browser just for crypto activities. If you want to really double down on security, just have a device that you do crypto investing on. Like I have multiple members in our communities that have a laptop, have a desktop that they just use for crypto activities because they want to make sure if something happens, you can really contain any of those issues there. You'll need a wallet to approve all your transactions. We're in the EVM space today using Base blockchain, so that's going to be Rabby Wallet. And Rabby is by far the best wallet in EVM in my personal opinion. I've used them all. I actively use new wallets just to see if there are any that are better. I have multiple browser profiles where I'm always testing them. And Rabby still is by far the best. It is built on top of MetaMask, our old recommendation, but with much better security, much better user experience, and really easy to connect hardware wallets to. It's just such a better experience overall. MetaMask, I'm sure, will continue to do really great things to make their wallet better. After that, we went ahead and showed you how to fund it using Coinbase. Now, you have other options like Cato Money as well as Stripe to get wallet stuff in there quickly, especially if you just set up your Coinbase account. It's going to take 5 to 7 days at a minimum for you to get those funds. So if you transfer money in from your bank, you're going to have to wait to get access to those funds. So you can use Cato, you can use crypto.link.com in the meantime. Just know that you're going to have some fees up front, which they're not terrible, but they're not great. But if you're just trying to get in just to see how it works, feel free to do it with like $50. Get in there. Start off using Beefy, filtering through. Oh, look at that. Now my $20 shows up. That is terrible. Sorry, guys. No, there it is. Now I have $20. 20 minutes later. Anyway, the system was unable to show my $20. And the great part about this is that I showed you how to verify, because we talk all the time, like this thing right behind me. Don't just verify. Verify through your transactions that you were able to get. And here's our Morpho. See that? And here's our ETH that we sent down for the gas, and then our $20 USDC. Just make sure you can verify all that. Again, very quick to do that now, which is fantastic. Went down to the Base blockchain, which is the L2 from Base. We couldn't get it going on Beefy because it couldn't see our USDC for some reason. So we ended up going to Morpho. Morpho is a lending platform. It's an open infrastructure for on-chain loans. Coinbase uses it on their front end. There are multiple other protocols in DeFi that also use this, and that's how Morpho makes their money. And they decide to, as you can see, $4 billion in total deposits, $1.6 billion in active loans. As you can see, all of these protocols use Morpho on the backside infrastructure for loaning out money. So we went ahead and got into a very simple stablecoin pool, the ClearStar Open Eden USDC pool. It was at 11, at the time 11.4, but now it's up to 11.6, so roughly 12% if we're going to round it up. And that's based off of an RWA stablecoin from the Open Eden framework, backed by US T-bills, as well as from Moody's ratings, if you are familiar with Moody's in the Web 2 world. and we just put $20 in here. And again, I do this on purpose because I want you all to understand you don't need a ton of money to even just try this out. Yes, if you want to make lots of like passive income, you're going to have to come in with more money, right? That doesn't pop up out of thin air. Right? In order to make 5 figures passively every month, you're going to have to put in 6 figures, right? That hopefully that makes sense to the majority, to everybody here. But you can do the back of the napkin math to at least figure out what the scale is, what you can do. It's better than nothing. It's better than just holding stable coins. At least put some of that stuff to work for you. And that's the beautiful thing about DeFi. You can do it where you are custodying your own assets, and this is something that you can do. So over the weekend, do it. Tell me how it goes. Reply on the Twitter, comment on the YouTube, and of course, join our free group, Total Value Locked, school.com/beacon. If you liked what you saw today, join our community, completely free. Learn from the best in the business. Join the hundreds, nearly thousands who have already been here doing more with their crypto than before. And that's it. That's part of our free calls. Again, we do this every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can also watch our flagship podcast, also here on YouTube, also here on Twitter, also on Stream TV and Twitch from Beacon DeFi. Total Value Locked is the name of the show, TVL, the TVL show. Watch us every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We always have the best and the brightest minds in Web3 out for interpreting the news to figure out what's good for your portfolio, as well as get their takes and learn more about really awesome protocols that want to come and introduce themselves to you. We've got some really big ones coming. We've got another guest hopefully next Friday lining up very soon. The topic we'll be talking about the next couple of weeks is crypto taxes, something that's very important, something that as a crypto and DeFi user, you should pay attention to, because capital gains tax is a real thing and you should be paying your fair share of taxes. Make sure that you don't have to be chased by any entity in your jurisdiction. Just make sure that you know what to do. So tune into us. We'll have that show coming up very soon. Thanks for joining us today. Take care. 07. Keep beating those banks. Beacons up, banks down. Take care, guys.